your ex dropped a lot of allegations, yeah, against
Okay.
you.
Her mother had three of them for three different men, all ladies, and she had a very distorted growth. When we were planning to get married, I never abused her. I married at the age of 24, and I married as a virgin. I never slept with any other lady apart from her. And throughout the 15 years of marriage or 16 years, I never cheated on her. The divorce actually happened because of the external, and also she was so distracted. She loves money. She's not contented. When I resigned, reality of life started dawning on her. She wanted more. My ex-wife did business with a minister on the altar, and it was long reach. Gave the man hope. So the man confronted her. I was preaching in the service. I went to my office to refresh, and the next thing I heard a shout. My ex-wife slapped this man.
When you say your ex, right? Your
Yes,
ex
yes,
attended the same church with you those days, right?
yes, sir.
And now you are no more a Christian, or you don't believe
Yeah,
in God, according to your
yes,
statement
sir.
in the beginning, right?
Yes, sir.
And but your ex dropped a lot of allegations, yeah, against
Okay.
you. For example,
Oh,
saying, about the children that you took their clothes
yeah.
away and stuff like that.
Mm,
And, you know, because
mm.
she has been granting interview lately and I've been monitoring it as well. What do you have to say to
Oh,
some of those interviews that you even came across as well? Because this is a platform for you
yes.
now to say, you know what, this thing is just a cook and bull
Mhm.
story.
Yes. When I came out of detention, I saw that interview, and even there's a podcast I did that will soon be out to debunk it, and there's other series that will be coming up because I wanted to keep quiet, let it slide because of my children, but I felt no, let's set the record straight. If you don't set the record straight, people will believe that narrative and it will sell. Let me tell you a short story before I tell you that. There's a book, I was reading an article, and a white man told his son that Muhammad Ali is a white man. He told his son that Muhammad Ali is a white man. And when I saw that caption, I wrote about it and I said, if you allow that white man run around with that narrative in the next 100 years, if care is not taken, Muhammad Ali will be described as a white man. So when we keep quiet in the face of lies, it becomes a lifestyle. So I needed. So that's why I told myself I need to address it. Now my ex-wife, she never told the truth. If I tell you, when I came out, I got a whole lot of calls from people that really knew my family, knew my relationship with her. I met her. With due respect to her, and great respect to her parents, but her mother had three of them for three different men, all ladies, and she had a very distorted growth. I'm not lying. She started. I remember her telling me the story, and it was so pathetic that made me became so compassionate for her. And I told my friends that look, I will marry her. She told me how she was being abused. Yes, I told. She told me how she was being abused. She told me how her uncle used to beat her like a man, and at one point she moved and started living in a man's house. And when she gave me the address, I knew the address because I was living in Otupo, my AK Street number 8. Now the person, her ex-boyfriend that she was living with, was living just his street before my street, and his name was Owen Nasco. So I knew him. And this girl was even in, I think she was just less than 18. But because of the abuse, she had to permanently live in that guy's house. And she told me something that she never knew her dad. She never knew her dad. It was at the graveside of her father that they pointed to her, pointed to the corpse and said, "That's your father." So when I heard that story, I told her, "No way. You are a great person and you can rewrite your story." I remember when we married, when we were planning to get married, I never abused her. Let me say this. It's not for a bragging right. I married at the age of 24. And I married as a virgin. I never slept with any other lady apart from her. And throughout the 15 years of marriage or 16 years, I never cheated on her. I never. I can beat my chest. And this is a live podcast. So I'm throwing a challenge. If I've ever slept with you within my marriage, come out. So that's the kind of person I am. So when the divorce happened, the divorce actually happened because of the external, and also she was so distracted. She loves money. She loves she's not contented. When I resigned, and reality of life started dawning on her, she wanted more. And one thing as a man is that, look, I can't give you what I don't have. I won't steal for you. I gave my children their throughout our years of marriage. Like, I would throw it back to her. I want to know whether she had ever paid house rent. How many times she paid house rent? I was footing the bill. She was not working. I was fitting the bill because I love good housewife. But if you want to work, do business. I have set up business countless time for her. I In the recent podcast, I had to even give details. I remember several times as a pastor, I gave her half a million. I can count it like 4 times. And all of that went down the drain. All went down the drain. I remember her attitude also got me at one point in 2015. I had panic attack. I had panic attack and anxiety. So anytime I see her, I'm in shock. I'll be panting for breath. I remember going to the hospital and they told me, the doctor was asking me, what is wrong with you? We have searched everywhere, nothing. You are not sick. I said, I know what is wrong with me because my ex-wife was headache. Now let me tell you why. As a pastor, the best you can have is to have a good wife that won't give you trouble. She gave me a whole lot of trouble. The church we were, we had a policy that pastor's wife don't do business. Pastor's wife don't do business, especially with church members. Especially with church members. Yes, because when you do business with church members, you could familiarity and maybe business bridges, like maybe business conflict, sharing formula, disappointment. So the policy is you don't pastors and their wives don't do business. Now my ex-wife was doing business even with the elders on the ministers on the altar, the deaconesses, and even the deacons on the altar. Now, I remember this particular scenario. My ex-wife did business with a minister on the altar, and it was Long Reach. I don't know whether you know Long Reach. Long Reach is a multimedia market,
Yeah,
multi-level
it's
media marketing.
marketing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So she did that with that man, gave the man hope. They always tell you very soon your money will begin to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with all the expectation she gave this man, the man wasn't seeing that. So the man confronted her. I was preaching in the service. I went to my office to refresh, and the next thing I heard a shout. My ex-wife slapped this man, slapped the man. The man was over 40 years. I'm not joking. And this story I'm telling you, my assistant pastor Victor Shaibu is aware. My accountant Albert, because they were in the office, he slapped the man. Now, when you, he's an elderly man, you are slapping. Now, when they drew my attention, I had to call this man. I pleaded because it was so embarrassing. And I told her, you see, now you are messing me up. You are messing me up. That woman put me in trouble. That look, if I sit to talk today, do you know that in that same church, my ex-wife told her in-law, and I will call them. I don't know where this YouTube will go, so let me call them. Maybe they will find out by themselves. His name is Okochi. Told Mrs. Okochi that pastor's wife are doing contribution, and that she should join them. The poor woman joined the contribution, and she told her, she gave her her turn. Like, when you do contribution, maybe you are 5 people, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe your turn is maybe if you're number 5, your turn will be week 5 or day 5. Now,
Yeah.
when it got to her turn, she never saw her money. She kept coming. When she was coming to my house, I thought she was a guest, or maybe like in-laws, befriending themselves. And one day she broke up. She just got loose and said, Pastor Abraham, your wife is owing me. Your wife defrauded me. She told me that the pastors are doing contribution. Where is my money? I like, how? I'm not aware. Now she started making noise. She had to say she would write to the headquarters and all that. I remember going to Zenith Bank, Durumi. I'm calling names now. Maybe it may go anywhere. Zenith Bank, Durumi. I had to withdraw 200,000 to pay the woman. And I can go on and on how she entered into business and messed things up for me. That woman. So when she alleged that I steal the children's clothes and the children were suffering, I am making the live video from my house. I live in 2 bedroom. I am my new wife. When my children came, now listen now, before my children came, my children were, one of my children, two of them were RAPE under her custody, RAPE under her
Mhm.
custody. And she never told me. She never told me. She never, it was her friend. If not that we are on live, there are chat I will show you because they are in my phone. It was her business associate that she defrauded. Her business associate that she defrauded, she was the one that reported to me. My children, my daughter's, the RAPE was in court. I think the issue happened around August. I got to know in March the next year. The case was in court. I never knew. It was her business associate that she defrauded that broke the news to me because she used to, malign me and paint me black before her. But when she noticed that she defrauded her too, she said, "No, I need to meet this man." And she had to search for me on social media. So when that happened, I had to go to the house because the business associate of her accommodated my ex-wife. So I had to go there. She accommodated them with my children, gave them a room. And in that room, they were not cooking. So because she started having trouble with the woman, so my children were not going out. So what they were eating were basically snacks. When I got there, I opened the door, the place was stinking. My children were crying. I had to draw them close. And they were saying, "Daddy, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I said, I understand. Herself was seated. The woman came and said she's owing her and she will not allow her go until she pay all her money. Another guy that she has been owing since 2018 was there, I think about ₦1 million, that he's not leaving until she pays. So I had to beg all of them. Now they seize her car, seize some of her property that she must pay them. My ex-wife has never lived in a house more than a year. If she's like the first time I saw them, they were living in an uncompleted building. I beg her, "Let me go with my children. I can take care of these children." She said no. When we were filing for divorce, she hired 2 lawyers. And the essence of the 2 lawyers is to gain custody. I defended myself because then I was broke. I was pursuing 2 cases in court then, all because of my stand against religion. So so when I said, "Let me move the children," she said no. So this time now, because the RPE thing happened, I had to insist. I took 4 of the children.
Mhm.
My younger brother was there. My younger brother was there. Another of my younger brother, I think we were about 3 of them. Now I took them to my house. I live in 2 bedroom, and if you dare me, I can do a video to show you my house. When they came, I vacated my bedroom for them. The master bedroom where I stay with my wife, I vacated for them. My younger brother has his room. Now, my younger brother, I said, "No, don't worry, remain in your room." I was sleeping on the bare floor with my new wife for my children. For my children. So when the narrative went out, I was shocked because I do both. Uber, both. Now, in a day, if I was not spending, I was spending about 15K. If I'm
Yeah.
going out, breakfast, everything is ready. The narrative that children were hungry, she was sending them money. I didn't know where they got that narrative or she got that narrative. And it was so pathetic because as a person, the children she's talking about. Now, you are telling me that I was not taking care of them. Now, the same children, if I wish, if not because of the hypnotization and all that, one day I know these children will be free. These same children, I did babysitting for all my children. All of them, all, with due respect to her, she's of the big size. So she's not this type that lifts herself comfortably. I did babysitting for all my children. Now my children were with me. Now, in the house I am living right now, we don't have running water, but we have water close by. I had to fetch water myself, fill the place for my children. And I saw that my children are growing big. As a person, I knew my dad. My dad, I came from a conservative and a traditional home. It is not possible for your father to vacate his bedroom for you, not even in
Okay.
the dream.
That's right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, as children growing up, we used to sleep on the floor. It's not a complaint. My father beats me if I act against his will. He disciplines me. So
But
me now, I have daughters that is 19, another one 16, another one 18. I shouldn't discipline. I shouldn't scold. My children will be permanently engrossed on social media, permanently. Uh, so my daughter should not fetch water for me to drink. So you said that I am wicked. When do you know my ex-wife? My children did not go. One of my daughter. Let me give you an instance. Let me tell you a story. One of this year, I think like 2 years ago, my children they told me that they wrote WAEC. Do you know that my children did not write WAEC? She see you see, sir. If I tell you some things, it's so pathetic. Now, when she said they are clothes, let me return back to that story. I went to work. I left 4,000 with them, 4,000 naira with them. After breakfast, I said, this 4,000 naira, in case you need anything, your stepmom is here. She'll get you guys something for lunch. We have other ingredients, but 4,000 naira was left with them. I left. Now, my woman was inside resting. Now, not that they were, hanging around as usual. Only for her to come out now, she didn't see anybody. She thought maybe there's truth. She called, no reply. That was when she called me on phone that none of the children are around though. I say, how now? Now I called my younger brother. He confirmed the same thing. Now when I came back, she told me if they left with what they were wearing, and the 4,000 naira was left on the table. 4,000 naira was left on the table. They left. Nobody drove them. Now while they were with me, I noticed they were always talking with their mom. I allow them because for me, children should be free. I have told them I have no issue with you. The issue I have is between me and your mother. And look, you may be a bad husband, but you can be a good father.
sure.
I will tell you, I will beat my chest that I'm a good father. You may not know me, but people watching, and I have joined weddings because of my marriage. Like people saw how good I take care of my children. Many young folks got married. So I can't imagine my ex-wife blackmailing me. Now they left everything. And when I called, I said, we are that they are with her. I say, how? And then I told these children, I told my children, if you want to go to your mom, feel free. But for now, I want to take charge because I noticed that she had been promising me that you guys will go to school. You guys are not going to school. I told her, "Well, okay, let me send these children to public university." She said, no, there was school in Germany. Germany, where is the money? She's not doing anything. She's not working. What she does is to use the children for money. Oh, I'm a single mom. My ex-husband left me with 5 children, and you know how it is in Nigeria. Everybody, sorry. The man is a bad man. That is what she does. The house she's living in is her sister in the UK that paid for the house. When she heard that she was thrown out of where she's staying, now you are using my children for bragging rights. Leave my children. I even negotiated. I met a lecturer. I was planning to send my first daughter to UniAgri, Benue State University of Agriculture. I wanted to send her there before she ran away. My three other children, the other child that she said she finished secondary school, she never went she didn't finish her secondary school. Now there was a school here. Now I want to call the name. I live in Jukwe, Karo Axix in Abuja here. Now, there's this Bishop Kawas, if I'm not mistaken, Bishop Kawas. Maybe you can search it online. They have a school. It's like a mission school. Now, I approached them. The teacher told me that, look, because as of the time the children came to my house, it was holiday. It was holiday. So there was, which school will they go to? So it was a fresh start for them. Now I approached the school. They said for them to start, that they give scholarship because I'm bringing three children. They will even give me scholarship for like one or so. I said no problem. So the children were not going to some bad school, or they were not to go to some bad school. So she just made up all that lie to just demarket and defamed me because
Mm.
of course, she was paid. She was really, really paid, and it's so
But
funny. It's so funny. So,
in one of the interview, she said
yeah.
that until, yeah, that you go back
Mm,
to meet some certain man of God before things
mm.
will open, will be pure for you. I mean, he said because they did not offend you, stuff like that. They even take care of her and what have you. Are you ready or are you willing to go back to those people that she mentioned in the video?
Let me tell you. I remember while we were in court for divorce, she had an uncle. I wish I could play a video of while I was in court. You'll be shocked. She had an uncle that was a retired air vice marshal. Now she had a family. You have aunties and uncle. So on our court day, you will see Air Force folks with their uniform everywhere around the court premises, and you will see cars parked, and you see only me standing in that box. Do you understand? And I remember one of those days, the judge, because when it comes to customary court, there are three judges. I remember one of the judges telling me, the judge told me that, do you know that if you return back to your former place of work, this divorce will not happen? And I laugh. I say, wait, so am I being forced? An old man like me. Now somebody is telling me I have to return back. Now let me tell you a story about my ex. I remember when the first time I went to prison. Now I returned back from prison. My mom came because she heard that I was in prison. When I came, my mom saw me at the entrance, just lay down flat on the ground. Elderly woman, thanking God that I came out alive. My ex-wife just sat aloof, looking at me. She was seeing me like some guy with I don't know, maybe some disease. And I went in, bathed, and the next thing I was so pained because this same person I served for over 10 years had the gut to send me to prison for doing him nothing, nothing. When I mean nothing, now I I had his posters on the wall, which I bought with my money. I pulled them down. I said, well, if he can do such a thing to me, he doesn't deserve to be in my house or on my wall. I pulled them down, and my ex-wife came to hold me that, why am I pulling that? I said, I bought these things with my money. And for me, with what he has done to me, he can't be here. I bought them, and she said, no way. I said, "Eh, my own thing with my money. I just shave her aside, and I went to burn them. And when I finished eating, I went to the dish. I noticed the plates were still there. I said, nobody to wash this. And she said, I should tell my mother to come and wash the dishes. Yes, she asked my mother to wash the dishes. And my mother, I was pained. And I was like, why you behave? I just came out of prison. You're not even happy that I'm out of prison. And you're asking my mom, that my mother, your mother-in-law. So I look at her. So what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Number one, I did not marry her in that system. I married her in Assemblies of God. We did not meet there. We did not meet there. So the condition and all of that is it doesn't even exist, and it's very, very pathetic. You see, let me tell you that system have done me evil than any other system. All I ask is let me be. Just let me be. Leave me alone. Is it by force to work for you? Leave me alone.